The Mavericks look to get back on track at home tonight as they welcome in Josh Green and the Charlotte Hornets to begin a 3-game homestand. We'll preview tonight's game coming up next on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. Here we go. Hey, what's up, DLLS Mavs Nation? It's your man, Kevin Gray, alongside Mavericks analyst Bobby Carella. We are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys covering your favorite team every single game night. Appreciate you joining us here on DLLS Sports as your Dallas Mavericks get ready to host the Charlotte Hornets at the American Airlines Center in game number 60 on the season. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to DLLS Sports. You can download our podcast wherever you get your podcasts for free. Just search DLLS Mavs. Make sure you give it a 5-star rating and write a review for it while you're there as your Mavericks come into tonight's game at 31-28, 18-11 at the AAC, taking on a Charlotte Hornets team that's 14-43 on the year and 5-23 away from Charlotte so far this year, with your Mavericks being a 9.5-point favorite tonight, with the over-under being 221.5. If you're going to be watching the game, you can watch it on WFAA Channel 8 and also KFAA Channel 29, Bobby, as the Mavericks look to snap their 2-game losing streak after falling to the Los Angeles Lakers and Luka Doncic on Tuesday. They begin a 3-game homestand tonight and 5 of their next 6 games at home as they welcome in the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, it's a different caliber of team tonight.
Yeah.
The Hornets, they've lost, 6 of their last 7 or 7 of their last 8. They've lost their last 3 games by a combined 131 points, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
If my math is not wrong.
That's good math. That's good math.
That's more than 43 points per game. Like I've said before, it's not always who you're playing. It's about when you're playing them.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone plays the same teams the same number of times pretty much. But it's when you're playing them. The Hornets are going through it, and LaMelo is out tonight, not to spoil the injury report. So this is the kind of game where, you have to win. I'm going to say it. Must win. Must win.
I mean, I agree. It's a must win. I mean, you got 5 of your next 6 games at home. You welcome in Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday, so you've got to be able to get a win tonight against a down bad Charlotte Hornets team. Both of these teams coming into tonight looking to gain some momentum back in the win column. We'll start with your Dallas Mavericks, of course, who are 9th in the West at a game and a half behind the Clippers for the 6th seed and just a now half game ahead of the Sacramento Kings, who are sitting there in the 10th spot, as the Mavericks and the Kings are now tied in the loss column. Dallas, of course, 5-6 in their last 11 games, currently on a 2-game losing streak. So far, 22-20 against the Western Conference so far this year, and are 18-8 against teams below 500. So they've been beating up on bad teams all season long. Bless you.
Sorry. I was trying so hard to hold that in.
No, it's cool, man. Let it all out. Let it all out. As Dallas begins a 3-game homestand tonight, 5 of the next 6 games will be at the American Airlines Center, as their homestand will continue on Saturday night when they welcome in Giannis and the Bucks. Meanwhile, as Bobby mentioned, Hornets going through it right now, 14th in the Eastern Conference, 4.5 games ahead of the Wizards for the last spot in the East. They've lost 13 of their last 15 games overall, including 4 straight. They are currently 1-7 on their season-long, check this out, Bobby, 9-game road trip, which concludes tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. So far this year, the Hornets are 7-13 against the West and 8-21 against teams above 500. After tonight, they'll play 5 straight games at home, beginning on Saturday when they welcome in the Washington Wizards. But yes, the Hornets right now 1-7 on a 9-game. I don't think I've ever heard of a 9-game road trip. It's been a long time since I've seen a 9-game road trip.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of those came before the All-Star break, but the real culprit is they had 2 games postponed and rescheduled. They were in L.A. During the fire, and so they had to play that makeup game against the Lakers early, And then they had to play,
which they won.
Well, they haven't even played the makeup game with the Clippers yet, so they just got screwed, dude. But coming out of the break, they've played on the 19th, 20th, 22nd, 24th, 25th, and now 27th. That is 6 games in 9 days. It's a lot of basketball for a team that is not winning a lot of basketball games right now.
And the Mavericks look to hope to keep it that way going into tonight's game. We heard from Jason Kidd prior to tonight's game. And with that, I throw it over to my guy Bobby for a very special Bobby Carella scouting report going into tonight's game.
Yeah, I don't want to oversell it, but this is the most important scouting report and breakdown of any sort that we've done on this program all season. I would agree. Without further ado, Tanner, let's jump right into the footage. This is J Kidd before the game tonight.
Oh, yeah. Do you have any pre-game rituals?
Oh, great question. Pre-game rituals. Normally it's peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Normally I take 1 grape and 1 strawberry. And if we're winning, I will continue that so I can gain a lot of weight. But if we lose, then I have to figure out something else. So I will go to pineapple and watermelon. And so for today, I had watermelon and pineapple.
Okay.
KG, let me start.
Where do we start here?
There's nothing wrong with having multiple peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You're talking to a guy that has a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on toast every morning for breakfast. That is my breakfast of choice. Now,
we'll get to that in a second. Okay, all right.
That's with grape jelly. I'm a grape jelly guy.
But you also said with toasted, though.
Toasted bread. It's real good.
Yeah, we're going to, okay.
It's real good. Now, if you have multiple, okay, and you mix the jelly, so you're having 1 with grape and 1 with strawberry.
Cool.
That's kind of chaotic, but it's fine. What I cannot get on board with, first off, I didn't know that they made pineapple or watermelon jelly. Secondly, there's a small chance that pineapple and peanut butter is a decent combination. There's a small chance, but you will never, ever convince me that watermelon jelly exists or tastes good, especially with peanut butter. That is, like, I cannot even fathom the type of person that would do that to themselves.
Tanner, can you find a picture of watermelon jelly or jam like on the internet? Like, because I'm with Bobby.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't believe that exists. Number one, Ronald says, by the way, you're a simple man, Bobby.
I am.
Okay, number one, if you're a real grown up, strawberry jelly is the way to go. I had to learn that the hard way.
Grape jelly rules, dude. Come on.
It rules, but if you're a real adult, strawberry jelly is the way to go now as an actual adult.
It's like classist or something.
No. It's strawberry, then grape. Look, I was the same way. I used to be grape all the way, and then I got hip to the greatness that is strawberry.
Strawberry jelly tastes good.
Yeah, like it
does taste good.
Yes, and it became number 1 for me. So strawberry.
I did find some, but it's like there's like one brand.
One brand of watermelon jam.
We might as well.
I only see one brand.
No one's going to confuse this with an ad because I just laughed at.
It's called Stonewall Kitchen. I haven't heard of it.
Stonewall Kitchen.
That's when I type in watermelon jelly. That's the only one that pops up. The next thing that pops up is just
that looks
Jell-O.
like ketchup. This looks like ketchup.
Oh yeah, that looks horrendous. That is not real. That's
awful.
Not real. Come on, man.
Awful.
PC says mint jelly with lamb goes far.
Mint jelly with lamb, though, that F's. All right, do not decry that until you've tried it. I was skeptical at first, and then I had it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm a convert.
Okay,
I am a convert. I'll never put that on a PB&J sandwich, though.
Okay, but see, that's the thing, HT. He says he didn't say watermelon jam. He said actual watermelon, healthy food that doesn't make you fat.
I don't know, though.
No, I don't know because he did not clarify. It made it sound like he was talking about watermelon or pineapple jam. Now, on first listen, I thought that's what he was talking about, but then Bobby convinced me. He's like, no, wait a minute. Is he actually talking about watermelon or pineapple jam?
Yeah, because before that, he said, I'll take 1 grape and 1 strawberry.
Right.
And then he said, if we're losing to mix it up, I'll take pineapple and watermelon. I don't think
like
he's just eating fruit for dinner. I don't think that he is. That's also, I cannot get behind that either. Eating fruit for dinner is not okay. Eating a little fruit with dinner, fine. Having some fruit with your dinner, that's pretty fine. But just pineapple and just watermelon
I mean, you could do like a fruit salad for dinner.
for dinner.
Yeah, if you get a variety of fruits, you could make that shake.
For dinner,
Yeah, why not? Especially if you're doing like a fast or something, you can do like a water, a fruit dinner if that's what you're trying to get into.
I don't know. It seems like that wouldn't sustain you, which could explain why they've had some fourth quarter struggles down the stretch this season.
Way to bring it back to basketball. Yes, Jonathan, this is actually a Mavs podcast because Jason Kidd was talking about it during the pregame.
We're getting you ready for tip-off.
That's right. So it qualifies as being part of the Mavericks podcast. We'll do more investigative reporting on that when it comes to
After another listen, I think they might be right. He might be talking about the fruits. That's okay. We had fun anyway, so
Ronald says he'd still be hungry after a fruit salad for dinner. No harm, no foul. Okay. That gets us to our lead story.
I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt. That's my last word.
Outside of Jason Kidd's sandwich choices, apparently. As Bobby mentioned earlier, it's a must-win for the Mavericks tonight. I mean, you've lost your last 2 games after winning your previous 3 in a row. You lost a game, of course, in the revenge game against Luka Doncic on Tuesday. Their next 4 games, Bobby, includes the Bucks twice, the Kings, and the Grizzlies after tonight's game. You got to be able to get it tonight, especially knowing with this looming March 6th date coming up with the evaluations of Anthony Davis, Derek Lively II, and also Daniel Gafford, who all remain out tonight, of course, for tonight's game. But as you mentioned, by hook or by crook, you got to win tonight's game against Charlotte.
Have to win. There's no choice. The Sacramento game matters a whole lot for the standings. Memphis is really good. Milwaukee, I don't really think Milwaukee is very good, but Milwaukee has 2 superstars, and the Mavs have 1 right now. And so those games are going to be really, really tough. This is your last, quote-unquote easy game for a while.
Sure.
And it's against a team that did just beat you like a month ago. Or
yeah, January 20th.
So,
that's right.
The Mavs are looking for a little bit of revenge, man. But again, it's going to be tough. Hornets have a pretty good big. They have a front court that's pretty formidable around the rim, and the Mavs don't have a lot of size. So it is going to be tough. But if they bring back that fighting spirit that they've had for most of the last few weeks themselves, then they should be okay.
Charlotte going to be led offensively tonight by Miles Bridges, who's averaging nearly 20 points per game and over 7 rebounds per contest. Defensively, led by Mark Williams, who's averaging over 15 points per game, 9.5 rebounds per contest, and 1.2 blocks per game. You know the man who's leading the charge for the Dallas Mavericks, and of course it's Kyrie Irving, averaging nearly 25 points per game. He's got at least 35 points in 2 of his last 3 games, including the game, unfortunately, on Tuesday in the loss to the Los Angeles Lakers. Hornets, not a very good team overall, even when you look outside of just the standings. A team that's 3rd worst in points per game, a team that's last in field goal percentage, 3rd worst in 3-point percentage as well. They do rebound the ball well. I guess you can do that when you're missing a ton of shots if you're Charlotte, because they're 6th in the NBA in terms of getting 45 rebounds per contest. You got to crash the boards against this particular team. As Bobby mentioned, this is a team in Charlotte that did beat the Mavericks back on January the 20th. This is the final time that these 2 teams will play each other this season, with the Hornets getting the 110-105 win in Charlotte back on the 20th of January. Kyrie Irving had 33 points in the losing effort. Daniel Gafford had a big day that day, had 31 points in the loss, unfortunately, as the Hornets had 6 guys in double figures led by Miles Bridges and LaMelo Ball, who each had 23 points. No LaMelo Ball tonight, though, for the Charlotte Hornets.
That was a rough one, KG.
It was a rough one. I mean, you got big days from Kyrie Irving and from Daniel Gafford, and pretty much outside of that, no one really gave anything to you. In fact, PJ Washington was the only other player in double figures that day, and he's not even playing tonight for the Dallas Mavericks. So someone else is going to have to step up in the scoring department alongside Kyrie Irving. We'll continue our DLLS Mavs pregame show here in just a moment with our Mavericks beat writer Tim Cato joining us live from the American Airlines Center. But before that, let's help you win some money tonight by getting you ready with Sleeper.
My sleeper pick of the night. PJ Washington let me down the other night, and he's out tonight, so I can't be let down. I can't be hurt anymore. Oh, you're the one that
benched him, huh? That's all you got.
No, that was not me. I'm taking Kyrie Irving. I think he's going to score at least 25 points. Mark Williams, the former Hornet, future Laker, former future Laker, past Hornet, current Hornet. I think he's going to get a double-double. And then Nick Smith Jr. filling in for LaMelo. I think he's going to score at least 10 points. So With Sleeper, the more you pick, the more you can win. There's a multiplier on my 3 selections that would give me 2.61 times my play, and so my $5 play, if I win, could net me $13.05 in cold hard cash that I could withdraw within. I'm trying to snap real loud. Minutes of the final buzzer. If you think you know ball, download Sleeper, play $5, use promo code DLLS Mavs, play $5 to get $55 to use on any contest.
As we continue to get you ready for tonight's game between your Mavericks and the Charlotte Hornets, let's welcome in our Mavericks beat writer. You can find him next at Tim_Cato. He is Tim Cato. Tim, what's going on?
Hi,
What's
Tim.
up, guys?
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing good.
A little West Coast jet lag there for a second. You good?
I thought you guys were doing ads. I was watching a video on a different tab.
You should be tuned in to the DLLS Mavs pregame show. Tim, I need to ask you this.
Oh, okay.
Whenever J-Kid was talking about pineapple and watermelon, do you think he was talking about fruit or do you think he was talking about jelly?
I really had this exact dilemma going through my head when he was talking about this. I've never heard of watermelon jelly. Have you ever heard of watermelon jelly?
We did confirm it exists.
We think.
There's no way, though. I think it had to be fruit.
The chat mostly agrees with you.
This?
The chat mostly agrees with you in thinking that it's fruit as well. And Tanner, on listening again, believes that he's also talking about watermelon and pineapple, the fruit itself.
Get in there post game and sort it out for us, will you?
Yeah, we need clarification.
Okay, I can do this,
please.
All right, I'm on it. I'm on the case.
We did get some clarification. We think when it comes to PJ Washington and his injury, of course, he's going to be missing tonight's game with the right ankle sprain. Jason Kidd speaking to that in terms of the concern level for PJ Washington and his ankle. Here's what he had to say.
The concern is high when, coming off this road trip and coming back home and for his ankle. Hopefully he can heal here quickly and is ready to go for Saturday, but unfortunately he can't go today.
What's your concern level, Cato, when it comes to PJ Washington and this ankle injury?
I mean, he's got to get it right enough that he doesn't go 0 of 10 with 0 points. So if it takes another game to get to the point that he's able to be the PJ Washington we're used to, and he was really good defensively on the other end of the court in that game, but clearly he doesn't look exactly like the player we've come to know and watch here in Dallas. So he didn't re-injure it as far as we know. So this isn't anything that feels like it should linger at this moment. But I will let you know if I hear otherwise.
That gets us to our injury report for tonight for both teams. Lengthy for both the Hornets and the Mavericks. We'll start with Charlotte. LaMelo Ball, he's out with right ankle soreness. Seth Curry, though, is available. He's dealing with some low back tightness. Taquan Jeffries, he's available. He's dealing with a left knee injury. Trey Mann, he is out with a herniated disc. Brandon Miller, of course, remains out with the right wrist surgery. Wendell Moore Jr., he is out. He remains in concussion protocol. Yusuf Nurkic, he is out tonight. He is dealing with illness, so one of the big men for Charlotte is going to be out tonight. Josh Okogie remains out with the left hamstring strain. Of course, Grant Williams continuing to deal with the recovery from his ACL tear. Meanwhile, for the Dallas Mavericks, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively II, Caleb Martin are all out, of course. Dwight Powell, he is available. He'll be on a 10 to 12-minute restriction tonight for Dallas. Daniel Gafford remains out with his right MCL sprain. And, of course, PJ Washington, as we mentioned, out with the right ankle sprain. Tim, the Mavericks got Dwight Powell back in the game against Los Angeles on Tuesday, provided them a little bit of a lift and some energy off the bench. Hopefully he can do and continue some of the same tonight against Charlotte here.
Yeah, I mean he's the player they've got on the roster. He's got a minutes restriction. He's not going to be on the court the entire game. Dallas is once again going to have to go small with Kessler Edwards, with Olivier Maxence Prosper, but I think it's more doable against a team like this that has been losing in a historic way, and just having one big man who is competent, who knows his job, knows his role, knows where to be defensively within the schemes, and is a little bit more big man sized, even if Dwight Powell obviously is, not the big man that, this team is building around anymore. He's at least a guy, especially on the offensive end, who goes out there and makes a larger impact, in and around the rim than what these makeshift centers that Dallas has been playing can do on that end. So it's this is not a perfect situation, as we all know, but having Dwight Powell out there, having the option to put him out there, I definitely think that's better than not having him, on the bench available for this game.
I would like to see his minutes. It's weird because he's coming off the bench, but I would like to see his minutes align with Mark Williams's as much as possible. What you don't want to have is like you're sticking to your rotation. Mark Williams is on the bench, and then Dwight's going to get all his minutes against the Hornets backup. Which without Nurkic tonight, I'm not even sure who that is. If Dwight's going to be in the game, he needs to be going up against their best big because he's the Mavs' only big.
Yeah, and Dallas has done a good job avoiding, just being dunked over. Just like completely the big man. They're not allowing opponents to just have their centers seal and then turn and dunk. But they're obviously giving up a lot of layups from guards. They're giving up a lot of offensive rebounds. And Mark Williams has the tallest standing reach in the NBA, I believe, more than Wemby's. If there is a center who to some extent can, you can just throw it to, he catches high and then he finishes. I think Dallas, even in their limited state, as they've done, I think they're going to limit that for the most part. But he's a center who can do that to an extent. And so having just a real center trying to match up with against him rather than an Omax or a Kessler, I agree. Like that needs to be prioritized to the extent that it can.
Well, with LaMelo out tonight, they're not going to be running as much like of their normal offense. It's going to be a lot of egalitarian kind of, hey, I'm going to swing it over to you to see what you got. So they could just do the Neanderthal thing. Just throw it up. Just fling it up. Doesn't matter where you are. If Williams has a smaller guy on him, I'm just going to put the shot up nice and high and soft, and then he'll just get the rebound whenever it misses.
So a smaller guy is in every single player that will be in Dallas's rotation?
Pretty much, yes.
Oh, that's with all due respect to Moses Brown, who's on the team still.
He could get some, yeah.
He might have to.
This is probably a decent game for Moses Brown to get real minutes. Yes.
Go Moses Brown. Let's get to our Mavericks player spotlight on the evening. We focus in on Klay Thompson tonight for your Dallas Mavericks. He scored 17 of his 22 points in that second half in the game on Tuesday against the Los Angeles Lakers, going 5 of 10 overall from downtown. Thompson in his last 9 games shooting over 40% from 3 and averaging nearly 15 points per game. His 3-point shooting, Tim, really got them back into that game on Tuesday night. Klay will look to hopefully do more of the same tonight for Dallas to hopefully try to get off to a quick start and deal with this Hornets team and get them out of here pretty early on, hopefully.
I believe it's the 10-year anniversary of Steph Curry.
9.
Hitting 12. 9-year anniversary of Steph Curry hitting 12 threes against the Thunder. And, it's the infamous one, they have a timeout if they need it. Steph, and then the bang bang from Mike Breen. Similar to Steph, Klay is not the Klay of old, but he's still very good. He can hit shots. He can hit a lot of shots. And there's nothing prettier than watching him get in that rhythm, get in that, that state of, just burying stuff. And he's been in a good groove of late. So I liked what Dallas was doing with off-ball actions, to try to free him up, and they should prioritize more of that, especially against a team like this.
And Klay Thompson looking to continue that hot shooting like he had on Tuesday. By the way, special shout out to Spencer Dinwiddie, who's playing in his career a 600th game tonight as, of course, he's a member of the Dallas Mavericks, playing in his career 600th game overall as an NBA player. Let's get to our X Factors for tonight's game, going into the matchup between your Dallas Mavericks and the Charlotte Hornets. Again, if you're going to be watching the game, you can watch it on WFAA Channel 8 and also KFAA Channel 29 as well. And, of course, if you have Mavs TV, Mavs.com, so you can do that as well. Pretty simple ones tonight for me, gentlemen. Bobby, I'll start with you with this one because you got to get out to a fast start against Charlotte and hopefully bury them early on in this game. There's no reason. We talked about it in our title card tonight. No messing around with the Charlotte Hornets team, a team that's 1-7 on their current 9-game road trip, a team that has lost 13 of the last 15 games. Got to get out to a quick start, and Kyrie Irving setting that tone hopefully tonight for Dallas.
I don't know that because they can't get rebounds on command. I don't know that they have the capacity to just blow a team out. Unless they force a lot of turnovers. There's going to be a lot of rubber banding. Rubber banding's in video games. You get too far ahead, everyone else magically gets better. Like, it's really, really hard to get 8-10 stops in a row, and really blow it open. So unless they get hot from three or get a lot of turnovers, I don't know that it's going to be a rout. But I think that's what they got to try and do.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I think Dallas offensively, like, they can. If this is a good threes game for them, then maybe they're able to get out ahead and just kind of take it from there. But yeah, with Dallas in the state, with Dallas and the roster being in the state that it is right now, even a game against a team that's lost by, I think, 200 points over the last three, like 2,000 points in the last 3 games, none of them are gimmies. You can't go into any game and assume that it's for sure going to be a win. And Dallas has been taking care of games of late, ones that are like this. But, even this calendar year, they've had the loss to, New Orleans. They've had other losses that were gettable that seem like they should be wins. And you just can't assume.
This is a Hornets team, as Bobby mentioned a little bit earlier. A team that's lost their last 3 games by 53, 42, and 36 points, becoming the first team in NBA history to lose 3 straight games by 35 points. It's kind of nuts.
It's very bad.
That's really bad. Appreciate the compliment, Ardell, when it comes to the shirt. You can get
a good shirt.
Make sure you visit alldlls.com. Shop the network. Who's the second scorer tonight? You got any guesses who's going to be the second scorer tonight alongside Kyrie Irving? Because I don't know. Max Christie. I'm going to go with Max Christie.
Najee Marshall.
Najee Marshall, okay. Who's going to come along with Kyrie Irving tonight?
Jaden Hardy.
Whoa, okay. Deep cut.
Delete the footage.
We're going to get him out of witness protection and have him play some games tonight? That's
going to happen. It's going to happen.
Okay, all right. So Tim's going to go with Najee. I'm going to go with Max Christie. Bobby, the wild card, going to go with Jaden Hardy as the second scorer tonight alongside Kyrie Irving. That means the bench has got to dominate. If we're talking about Najee Marshall, we're talking about Jaden Hardy. That means the bench has got to dominate tonight for the Dallas Mavericks. They outscored 28-14 in their loss to Charlotte back on the 20th, were the Mavericks. So -14 on the bench cannot happen tonight against Charlotte as Josh Green makes his return to Dallas for the first time since being traded. Did you see Josh prior to the game, Tim?
I saw him in passing, but yeah, he's back, baby. There should be, I think he'll get a little video, right?
Yeah, he'll get a video.
Yeah. Part of a finals team.
Will he get an ovation like during the lineups? I bet it'll be like a muted cheer for him during the starting lineup intros.
I think he'll be noticeable.
Yeah.
Noticeable?
But not standing.
I don't know. I think muted. I think it's gonna be like a little like, oh yeah, like,
oh yeah, there's Josh. Yeah. Shout out to Josh.
But a nice round of applause.
Respectable
during the video.
Yeah, for sure. Tim, we appreciate you. Good to see you back on this side of things here in Dallas. I hope you enjoyed your West Coast road trip, and we'll talk to you after the game right here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show.
See y'all.
That's our Mavs beat writer, Tim Cato, reporting live from the American Airlines Center. That'll do it for us here on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. We will be back 15 minutes after the final buzzer here on our postgame show. Tim Cato will be reporting live from the American Airlines Center once again. And, of course, you will have Bobby Carella, our Mavericks analyst, and myself here breaking it all down after tonight's game between your Dallas Mavericks and the Charlotte Hornets. Again, thank you so much for joining us here on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to DLLS Sports on the way out the door, and visit and go get our podcast wherever you get your podcast for free and give it a 5-star rating. Write a review for it while you're there. For our producer, Tanner, that's Bobby. I'm Kevin. We are DLLS Mavs. We'll talk to you post-game right here on DLL Sports. Y'all be good. Peace.
Okay.
We all silly like the mayor.